I'm Natalie. Welcome to my sewing room. Thanks so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you. So I'm going to go over what we're going to need for getting set up for sewing success. It's a very short list and most of the things are quite inexpensive. In fact, some of them are even free. So you'll hear me mention the dollar store a few times, and then I'll give you some ideas about things you can get for free and where to get things. Quickly, there are three main categories of things you'll need. One is for marking and measuring. Then there's the cutting and sewing process. And then finally there's finishing. For marking and measuring, you're going to need a tape measure, which is one of these. And I assume that you've never sewn before, so you don't automatically know what things are. This is a tape measure. It's got inches on one side and centimeters on the other. A sewing gauge, and you'll see what we use these things for as your lessons progress, but just these are the things you'll need to pick up. This probably will come in your sewing kit and I'll show you one in just a moment. A style and design ruler, and it's got a curve down one side. This is the Dritz style and design ruler. And again, I'm just showing you what these things look like. You're free to buy your own version of these. 6-inch by 24-inch quilter's ruler. This we will need for the first project, like right away immediately. And this is a flex curve ruler. Okay, flexible. It's available in the drafting supplies online. They can be a little pricey, so I encourage you to I'm telling you about this now, so that if you decide that you want to keep going with sewing and you want to be able to design your own clothes, your own quilts, your own home decor items, you're going to need some design tools. So that is one of the key design tools. That's for marking and measuring. You'll also need a set of pins to pin your projects. And then we get into the cutting and sewing. So for cutting and sewing, a set of scissors. This is a 10-inch pair, an 8-inch pair. This is 10.5. These are 8.5. These are 5-inch. I bought these as a set for around $15 online, and that was back in 2013 or 14, and they still lasted all this time. So really don't need to spend a lot. If you want to, of course, if you've got it, go for it. And then a basic sewing kit. So this sewing kit comes with a set of scissors, but if you look at the size of this set of scissors compared to a proper set of shears, if I match up the points, you can see that one is significantly smaller than the other. These are fine. This set is available online at Walmart. If it's not available online, it'll be available at your local store under 10 bucks, and it's pretty much everything you need. Your marking chalk, there's that sewing gauge that I talked about. It's actually hidden back there. Seam ripper. Tweezers don't come with it. That's actually just mine. There's the tape measure, sewing needles, pins, thread, and then, so those are the things you'll need for cutting and sewing, hand sewing. You'll also need, of course, sewing machine. Goes without saying. But if you haven't bought a sewing machine yet, please watch the first 4 videos. And I'll give you tips and tricks on how to save money on buying a sewing machine, how to avoid very costly mistakes. Because if you buy one that doesn't have what you need, you're going to be disappointed, and that's an expensive mistake. So if you haven't already bought one, watch the first 4 videos. It will only take a few moments of your time, and it might save you some money down the line. All right, so your sewing machine, you'll need a set of presser feet. If your machine doesn't come with a set of presser feet, and that, I'll go over that in more detail in the video called You and Your Machine, and some extra bobbins for your sewing machine. And I'll go over what bobbins are in the next video, which is called Threads and Threading. So those are basically the things you'll need, and I'm just going to very, very quickly touch on the projects that we're going to be doing. So because we're also going to need some fabric and some thread and some glue sticks. So glue sticks from the dollar store, and chopstick, which is free from your local food court or your local Asian food restaurant. So you'll need a chopstick, And we're going to make this sewing machine organizer, which sits under your machine and can hold your presser feet, your scissors, you know, your phone, chopstick. Goes back in there because it gets used rather a lot. And so that's the first project. Second project, nice big gargantuan pincushion that you never lose. Can be made in a multitude of styles. So I've got 1, 2, 3 here, probably a couple more floating around the room because I like making these. They're fun. And so that's the second project, is the pincushion. And then third project, let me see if I can just, here it is, sewing scissors. So the Sweetheart scissor cover, and that just slides over your scissors so that when your scissors are in the drawer, you don't accidentally poke your hand or poke yourself. So just a little safety gizmo. And then the last thing we're going to make is the Tote Trio. So it's a tote bag, so big, beautiful tote bag, and it's a trio of bags. Then inside the bag goes this one, and this is your snippet sack. And I'll explain what all these things are to you as we go along, but I just want to introduce you to our projects. They're lots of fun. Oh, I forgot to mention this. You'll need this a little plastic bottle. They come in a multitude of colors from the dollar store. So quick trip to the dollar store, you can get the spray bottle and some glue sticks and a little box for $1 to keep your sewing presser feet neat and organized. You'll also find there are sewing kits there for $1. Then they have, but the quality of the stuff inside isn't very good. I'd encourage you to spend a little more. Inside my tote, I have this purse or tote organizer. These are $5 online, and you can then stick absolutely like everything in there. In goes the kit, and all my scissors can go inside here. My little snippet sack goes inside here. So everything just gets tucked right in. And my extra bobbins can go in a pocket on the side. And so everything gets tucked inside here, and then it all goes into the sewing tote, nice and neat. And I know where everything is, and I'm ready to go to class if you're going to class, or I know where all my stuff is for when I'm getting ready to sew. If you have a permanent place to sew, that's great, but if not, then this is a nice way to keep everything organized. So those are your projects. To make the project, so I'm going to make the projects in purple and aqua this time. And to make your projects, you're going to need a striped fabric. It doesn't have to be floral, just has to have a stripe. I happen to like florals, but if you don't like florals, that's fine. Any stripe will do. So here's my fabric, and then here's my coordinating fabric. So I love, love, love aqua. So those are my fabrics, and you can see the aqua and the purple, and then I've got matching thread. There's my aqua thread, and there's my purple thread. And I'll just hold those up for you so you can get a close look. And so you'll need some yardage, and it's all written out for you right here in the corner, exactly how much fabric you'll need, and to make all the beautiful projects. So hopefully this was helpful to you in explaining what are those things. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments section below. I appreciate you taking time and joining me today. Thanks a lot, take care, and happy sewing.